Hello, everyone. Well, no, two, one. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Nuestra Tabla Rasa. Tonight with Victor, Trista, and Lucky. Thank you
Hey,
for
Millie.
coming. Hey, is everyone audio
Yes,
working?
everything.
Yes, yes,
Yes, five
yes.
by five
Okay.
by
Yep.
five.
Excellent, excellent. So tonight we're going to be talking about the magic in movies. Um, this topic is something that I thought about because I went back a rabbit hole trying to see what movies I wanted to watch with the kids that I think would be fun. And typically around this time of year, we watch a lot of Halloween movies because when the oldest one grew up, Disney used to do the 30 days countdown to Halloween and they would do a Halloween movie. But then I started realizing that a lot of the movies that I like had magic in them.
Hmm.
So I was like, okay. And then I started realizing that a lot of the TV shows I liked had magic in them. So then I was like, oh, well, that kind of makes sense. Someone once told me that you gravitate towards what you were in another life or what you liked in another life in this life. So I thought, okay, fine. But why is it that all those shows, a lot of them, for instance, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, was this iconic show that now, for many generations, even generations way younger than the ones that grew up originally watching it, loved the show. So I wanted to talk to my friends about it and see where they saw magic in movies and what they thought. And then from a more, from a more awoken perspective, where it is that they saw messages in these movies that they may not have picked up on had they not gone through the spiritual journey that many of us have already been on for quite a few years. So let everyone say hello, and then we'll start with Victor and his thoughts.
Well, hello. Can we throw in spiritual slash conspiratorial journey?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
because that's part of the journey. Absolutely, it is.
yeah. I
Sure.
think I think that would be wonderful. Well, thank you. I think this is a wonderful topic. I can't wait to get tuck into this because there's so many. We have so many opportunities out there of things outside of even the spiritual and conspiratorial things. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it. But doing well. Had a great truth wave, and I'm bright eyed and bushy tailed. Let's do it.
Thanks. How you doing, Trista? How was this customer appreciation week treating you?
Oh, it was grueling, but I pulled through one more day and then I'm off. But yeah, I'm excited about this topic too because I definitely notice stuff like that. And I mean, I've been, into magic kind of things for a long time, so I've been noticing. And when cuz I just absolutely love nostalgic things, from my childhood, so I do watch a lot again and then go, "Hey, wait a minute. Is that why I'm into this?" But yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
so I'm excited as well.
Cool. How you doing, Lucky?
I'm doing good. I also think about cartoons. A lot of the Japanese cartoons, especially Japanese cartoons, have a lot of spiritual and ghost um, parts to them. And that's one of the things is I do love most about the Gobi, the ghost stuff, the Spirited Away, um, Howl's Moving Castle, and there's another one, My Friend Tubaru, whatever it is. Yes. There were other movies, like Never Ending Story. A lot of these things were kind of children stories that really influenced me just by thinking about them as an adult. A lot of those stories come up and fascinating.
100%. So we're all on the same wavelength, I think. I'm excited. All right, Victor, so let's start with you.
Start with
Hi,
me.
everyone. I'm sorry. Wait. Hi, everyone, by the way. Thanks for coming. Hi, Josh. Hi, Karen, Richard, Henny, good. Uh, the other Karma and Stacy. I just wanted to say hi to everyone. Clint, Linda, for staying up on Sunday night and spending your night with us. Thank you.
Yeah, I see a lot of comments already. Did you want me to speak first, Millie? Come on,
Yes,
Mike.
I did want
Okay.
you to speak first, and we definitely want to get the audience I can't believe that we would be the only ones that
Get some good cat energy going too.
love it.
Well, I see a lot of comments about Stacy mentioned something about sci-fi, and I see a lot of people piling on saying, "Yeah, sci-fi." I would have to say,
Hi, Adam.
uh, ma- movie magic probably one of the most profound movies for me as a child. Really, I was caught up in it. I was absolutely entranced with this movie. It was Close Encounters of the Third Kind. That movie took me to places. It's like you know how you have those favorite things that you can put on when you want to go to sleep. And it's like comfort food in a sense, but it's a movie or it's a sitcom or it's old Star Trek or something like that. Then you put those comfortable things on, and in a sense, it is magic. Even though Close Encounters is not really the type of magic we're talking about, because there was a whole slew of movies when I was a kid that were all wrapped up with, I think, like Hawk the Slayer. There was one movie that scared the bejesus out of me called Gargoyles, and it was kind of low budget. Does anyone remember those? Because your local channel may have put Gargoyles. I think it came out in '73, and it was freaking creepy for being so low budget. It was really creepy. So, but I would say I'll have to go with Close Encounters. That was probably my. If we're just going to do a quick hit, real quick, that's probably the one that had the most significant impact. I absolutely loved it, and I watched it. I watched it and watched. I probably watched it throughout my lifetime. God, hundreds of times. No telling. So
Cool. Thank you. And you're still into UFOs today.
yes, still.
How about you, Trista?
Oh geez, am I supposed to pick one?
Well,
So I also
something
I
significant.
I also have Spirited Away on my list, so that's fun. And um, when I visited my granny when I was like 6 or 7, I think I was 6 turning 7 that summer, and she got different TV than we did, and she got I Dream of Jeannie and Bewitched, and I loved those, and they'd play one right after the other, and yeah, those were definitely fun. And then I would dress up my Barbies like them and stuff. So and the Smurfs even had a lot of magic in there too, and I loved the Smurfs. So those were pretty formative for me. And then Lost when I got a little older, but those are probably the ones that were the most influential when I was pretty young. So yeah.
Awesome. And how about you, Lucky?
Oh yeah, there are so many. I mean, the Smurfs actually are a rabbit hole in themselves. But
Mhm.
yes, as a child, they were a huge part of my childhood. Even the gummy bears, which are a really weird thing to have. The gummy bears, which um, that was because they were candy, and then they became a cartoon, and there was a lot of spiritual and magic in that. But yeah, I mean, for me, Spirited Away was so huge to me. But that was later in life, along with oh goodness, Mushishi was about a man who walked around helping rid ghosts from people's lives, spirits from people's lives. That was a Japanese cartoon. It was a manga first, and it became a cartoon. Then it was a movie, and that was a fascinating thing about basically there are spirits everywhere, and that guy tried to help balance the spiritual world from the real world, and it was a that thing blew my mind. But again, these are things that I got into just by knowing people. Um, I mean, yeah, the regular. I mean, someone mentioned the Lord of the Rings, the original cartoon Lord of the Rings. That was a huge thing where it just kind of led you into Middle Earth, and reading the book, the Lord of the Rings was another one. Reading the books, I could go on and on about these movies. I mean, there was one that I read as an adult called "The Way of the Peaceful Warrior," which had a movie, and the movie and the book were similar, but it was all about manifesting your life and about having control of your life and manifesting what you really want, but being a peaceful warrior. And it was just, there was so much. And these movies teach us so much, and it's just out there for you if you're ready to see it. But if you're not ready, it's an entertainment, for an hour and a half, 2 hours. But yeah, I could go on and on about movies and what I learned from each one. But I just what I was just thinking about today was the Labyrinth with David Bowie, which was messed up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
And another one was Legend with Tom Cruise. That was a scary one. It was Tim Curry who did a lot of scary stuff. Was basically the devil, and that scared the jeebies out of me. Let's just say that. But yeah, each of those, but they each teach you a new lesson. But if you're not ready to learn the lesson, you can at least be entertained until you're ready to learn, which is what I like about these movies. They're entertainment first, but if you're ready to see the message, it's right there in front of you.
Okay,
Excellent.
so I love that where Lucky let off. If you're ready to see the message,
Hey,
and if you're ready to see the details. Okay, Krista? Krista?
sorry. My cat is digging on the back of my laptop
Oh, that's
because
nice.
she's smart. So
We got to get her one of those chairs, one of those things I was thinking. You know how people have them where they clip them onto the windowsill? We need to just clip her onto your desk because she seems to like to work with you. And then that way she can have her own little place there. She won't have
well,
her
I'm on my
everywhere in the
Reiki
place.
table, so
Ah,
it's a huge, huge, comfy desk for her.
I
Hmm.
see. Well, getting back to what
Sorry.
I was saying about Lucky and where he ended off, then he said something that was really important that if you have the eyes to see, and my next lead of questions here, um, what do you see in these movies now? Not only do you see hidden messages, but you also, now that we've been down this road, there's certain things that were shown for specific reasons. So, Victor, do you have any comments on any movies where you've seen things or, I don't know, soft disclosure, let's call it?
Yeah, I would say that some of it is actually kind of dark too, and it's marketed as a kids movie, and it's by a very large company that starts with Disney, and it's called Monsters Inc. When's the last time you've seen that movie or really thought about it? With your knowledge today, I don't know how deep Lucky is into this rabbit hole, but I know Trista and Millie. I know you guys are fairly well educated in this to various degrees. And Monsters Inc. is basically about monsters coming in the night, and they get judged on how bad they scare the children. And what do we know? What happens when children are scared, or anybody? That your adrenaline starts to flow, and then what do they get? They get points. So they, what do they do? Harvest the dreams or harvest the scare, in a sense. They harvest it like loosh, and there's all
Yeah.
kinds of little things throughout that entire movie. I guess it's animated and it's made for kids, but then you have to take a step. There's tons of messaging in there, and basically about this topic. And I'm not going to get into it too deep because it's not really what we want to get on. Well, we can if you want. You're the host, Millie. But where I'm going though is if you think about it, then it's kind of showing everybody, hey, this is what is possible out there, and they wrap it all up into some movie that's for kids, and in turn, it's taking something from them. It's supplying that loose. It's putting that thought out there. It's just putting that thought out there and that thought out there, and it's kind of normalizing it. That hey, let's scare people. You look at all the scare videos that are out there on YouTube, and a lot of times they're scaring children. So I would say that's probably the one that comes directly to mind. And there's another movie called Snake Eyes that I don't think I've seen, but I know it gets bandied about a bit. If one of you have seen that movie and know why it gets bandied about, so
I haven't seen the movie recently, but I know it's in recent movies. It's in recent news for some significant thing that happened on September 10th, and there's a character by that same name. So yeah, that's been talked about a lot lately. Yeah. How about you, Trista? What have you seen?
The Simpsons have a lot, like a lot for sure, and that I find really interesting. And like oh, it it's a struggle for me because it's like one of those things that's just so insidious perhaps, that I just don't want to believe that, and I kind of don't go there very often in my mind because it's just so not pretty. So, yeah, but I see it. I see it. I just kind of remain in denial, I think, even though some of it's just so obvious. But it's like it's too obvious, and I'm like, well, maybe they're just psychic and they're just like bringing it in and not meaning to, you know? I don't know.
Yeah, it's curious for sure.
Yeah,
What do they call that? I think I've heard that's um, predictive programming. I think that's the
yeah,
name
Mm.
that I've heard it called. So, yeah, that's uncanny how accurate
yeah.
they are. Yes. How about you, Lucky? What have you seen?
Well, Victor mentioned Monsters Inc. and about them harvesting the children's fears. That movie goes full circle, where at the end, they actually learn that laughter gives them more power, and the more laughter. So there is more to that movie than just scaring the children. It's about fear gives them power, but also laughter also gives them power, actually more power. And there's a whole full circle
Mm.
that the evil lizard wants them to eat the, feed off the fear. But Sully and Mike learn that laughter also gives it by having Boo, who isn't afraid of the monsters. Of course, touching when a children touches a monster, supposedly it'll take away their power because children, there's a whole understory. So it's not just the fear. There's also the laughter, which it's all about emotion, powerful emotions, and that is true. That if you focus on the positive, you'll get energy. But if also the negative will also give you those two extremes will also give you a lot of energy. Um, there's another thing that I was thinking of and I lost it. Oh, Stephen King. Stephen King's a
Mm.
huge thing where that guy is so deep in the spiritual stuff that but he claims he isn't. But it all comes out there. It all is out there and teaches you. I mean, I read The Stand and there is such every level of all his books is in The Stand. If you have the
Yeah.
time to read The Stand, which I don't advise anyone to do because there's so much convoluted in that book, and of course the miniseries they don't even touch on a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's about yes, everything they give you. They need to give you the whole story, but you have to be ready to hear the whole story. The Simpsons, yes, but if the Simpsons predicting things or are they helping warn us of the future to help us prepare for it? Is it predictive programming or is it like exciting telling, okay,
Mhm.
this is the roadmap, be ready for this so that you can prepare and be in the right place? I mean, there's two levels to everything, whether you're going to be afraid of what happens or you're going to be ready for it and do the right thing.
You know, and that makes me wonder too if a lot of times perhaps the producers or writers or whatever are put in this position where it's like, you're going to include this. And they're like, I don't want to. Well, you don't have a choice. Okay. Well, then they end up swinging it in a way afterwards that's more uh, healing, perhaps, where it's like, okay, I'll put this in. But like you said with Monsters Inc., well, then they found out that laughter was more powerful. So maybe the writers are kind of put under someone's thumb and then end up kind of writing their way out of it occasionally. Or it's like, okay,
Yeah, I don't. I
I'll
don't. I
do
don't.
it, but
I don't think it redeems the movie though. There's too many chemical equations or those numbers that basically stand for adrenochrome sprinkled throughout the whole stinking thing. And I think it
well,
may
not
be.
yeah, not necessarily that it redeems it. It's just
Mm.
kind of yeah, like who's calling the shots, I guess, is what I'm wondering. Because I'm sure it's not individual writers.
But it's about the whole story. You're
Yeah,
talking about
yeah,
redeeming the movie. I'm talking about getting the right message out there. So maybe these people are told this is what you're going to do. And they're like, okay, I'm forced to do this. And, choice between a devil and a hard place, whatever that is. And some of them, they might be a small minority, but they also might be the most creative who be able to get the message out there. Yes, it's all in there. And of course, the messages that it's a lot. You believe everyone can be saved, but there's also the idea that they have to choose to be saved. So, those who make the movie, can they be saved? So there might be people who are on the side of good and the side of evil are also in there, and who wins, but they both have to present their message, because that's the, I guess there's a, what is it, natural order or natural law where you have to present the whole message. um, I don't
That's
know.
interesting.
It's there's a lot to this. There's a lot of levels. This isn't just 2 levels. There are 11 levels. I mean, and how much of each level they show is under the control of money. If they can make money, they'll, if the good message is going to make the money, or they can find a way of making money with the good message, it'll be out there. But sometimes fear sells. Fear and sex sells a lot. While power and love and prosperity sometimes don't sell for some reason,
Right.
unless we live in hell and that's our entertainment. Unless life is hell.
Well, but then let's look at it. So a lot of these movies, though, like now that we watch Monsters Inc., like maybe initially it's like, oh yeah, it's cute, but it doesn't all sink in. But like, let's look at these other movies that like we think are so cute, and then later on we watch them and we're like, oh my god, what's that innuendo? What is that? How did I miss that? Like there's things out there that are presented one way and marketed one way, and I guess Monsters Inc. actually would fall into that, even though Monsters Inc. did 12 First Circle. But other movies that maybe even aren't so overt about like what it is that they're really talking about.
Well,
And
there's another movie, Monsters, with Howie Mandel and Fred Savage. Have you seen Monsters with Howie Mandel and Fred Savage?
I think I did see it, but I don't remember it. But yes, that wasn't animated. That was like a
No, that was Howie Mandel. That was a live action movie. That was a messed up movie. That was a really messed up.
Is that the one with
And
that South African actress in it, or is that
I
Monster?
No, 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 no,
Oh,
no, no,
That one was
oh,
weird too. That one was.
no. There
that
was
was
a no.
that's true story, sort of.
Monsters was a kids movie with Howie Mandel and Fred Savage.
Hmm.
Was Fred Savage vehicle Out of Wonder Years.
Yes.
They gave a movie. So basically, he was Out of Wonder Years, and Howie Mandel was just starting, and it was kind of a comedy. But monsters would basically live under your bed, and at night they'd come out of your bed to scare you. So it was kind of like monsters. And then children would chase after the monsters and go under their beds and get sucked out of it. And if you don't get out from under the bed by morning, you become a monster. And you got to collect things and steal things. And one of them was they were taking off heads and replacing them with toy heads. That movie had a redeeming quality, I don't think. I don't know.
ooh,
Uh, yeah, that movie freaked me out, and I was a teenager, I think, for that one, or maybe young adult, not sure.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, but yeah,
well,
the message is out there. But some movies are messed up. Oh, horror movies, all the horror movies, uh,
not very
Halloween,
enjoyable.
uh, Friday the 13th, Hellraiser. All these movies are awful. These are awful. And yeah, there's a hero, and the hero escapes, but it's torture. These people are tortured. And where's the redeeming quality of that? I don't know. I don't. The whole horror genre is in of itself something I'm not interested in. Although I love Stephen King, but I'm not sure why.
There are really intelligent horror movies out there, for sure. Like I don't enjoy like the ones that you were naming. Like those aren't my thing. But Mike Flanagan does absolutely amazing stuff to the point that like, and it's not a movie, but it's more of like a limited series or whatever they call it on Netflix. And they are so well done. Like I will laugh and cry and like the first was it the first one that I watched? that by the end, like when they wrap up all the loose ends, I sat there and I cried and I thought, wow, that was absolutely a beautiful piece of art. And it was scary, but it was so well done and so yeah, just mind-boggling. So some horror is okay, is my point.
See, like when I think of like elegant horror, I think of like Rosemary's Baby, or like more like suspenseful horror. You know, like the
Yeah,
what
yeah.
ifs, or like what's happening, like because like that movie, like there really wasn't a lot of killing in it, but I remember that movie freaked me out. It,
Yeah, that's kind of how a lot of his stuff is
I'm
just more, yeah. Sorry, Victor, go ahead.
no, it's I like the there was a movie that came out and I really like this brand of movie. There's this style and it was Julia Roberts where she's an abused wife and she learns how to swim to get away from her husband. What is the name of that movie? Well,
Sleeping with the Enemy.
Oh, yes.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dude is such a dickhead and he keeps everything exactly the same. The no disorder. I'd go crazy in that house. But that's like probably my depth right there in going into that sort of thing. Because I take mine, and hey, here we're going to loop around back to spirituality. Because I want to mind my mind. I don't want to put any garbage in like that. I watched a Hostel movie, and that sucker stuck with. Was it Hostel? Yeah, I think it was the first one. That was like 10 or 12 years ago. It's terrible. I mean, it's just cutting people up and torturing them and for sport. And and I thought, never again. Why'd I even watch this? So, and it's one of those things, it stuck with me for a long time. And
Yeah,
so I'm going to mind my mind and not watch that. Not, it's like, how many of you three watch the news?
Yeah.
No, you may glance at it here and there, but I don't watch the news. Why do I want to just expose myself to someone's corporate fear mongering? No, thanks.
See, I thought you were going to say how many of you, and then when you were talking about Hostel and gory, watched Faces of Death in high school.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Because that was what we were watching, and it was like, yeah, let's watch this. And it's like, oh my god! Then just knowing it was real, it's like,
I've never heard of that.
oh,
You don't need to.
good.
You don't need to. No, you
Yeah,
don't,
better,
you don't need it.
better. But
You
Adam
got
was
it.
mentioning suspenseful horror, and suspenseful horror to me is the scariest because you're just waiting.
Well, that's like
I think
Japanese. It's like Japanese horror. That it's messed up, but it's less gore and just absolutely terror.
I'll see, Josh.
I think what I like about it is that it's like a safe way to release that kind of brain chemical, right? And I mean, okay, so there's the whole loosh aspect, which we won't get into that, but like as far as the feeling, like that adrenaline kicks in and then it releases and you're safe the whole time and you're safe, so it's okay, kind of thing. I don't know. That's kind of how I process it, but I don't watch gory stuff. I like more of the psychological kind of stuff where it's like, ooh, but not too much. There's a fine line.
Yeah, because I feel like that can stay with you too. Even like the images can stay with you, but so can like it's like a mind f.
Well, how
As
do
a
you know
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not an attachment? How do you know it's not an attachment?
There you go. Yeah, that it could be totally that. Absolutely, I never even thought about it like that, but absolutely, because it stays with you. All right, so now let's take this in another direction. So, how about the movies that we've watched that have shown us the existence of other dimensions, other realms, that, we are living in a multi universe that opened that up to us so many times in different movies and we didn't see it. And like the never ending story is one of those, he's reading that book and then he's off in this land and all these things are going on that really have all these other meanings and are so much deeper than just the hero's journey, because essentially that's that's what he was doing, the hero's journey, finding himself. Do you have any movie like that you've seen other things, any of you?
That one for sure. Dark Crystal as well. I really, really
Watch
enjoyed. I
that.
think I was a little bit older for that one though. Um, Last Unicorn, I think was like I was that age, but I didn't discover it until I was a teenager when my sister and I were renting movies when we were a little buzzed. And then it was so good. um, oh, and does anyone remember Powder? That had just a little bit,
I don't know.
just a little bit, right? But so good. I watched it well recently, like a couple of years ago. It's like, wow, I missed a lot.
That's right. Because didn't he have a lot of his abilities to like do certain? Well, so
Well, I think he healed, and he also like there's that one scene where he touches the hunter that shot the deer and the deer to like show him the pain that the deer was going through. Like that's that iconic scene.
hmm.
And then I think there was more, but I don't remember now.
Oh,
Still a
Adam just
couple
said
years ago, yeah.
Ghost. Yeah, Ghost was a good one,
Mm.
Adam.
Yeah, the audience has a lot of them. I didn't see. I saw Ghosts. I didn't see Sliding Doors, and then but Adam just had another one too. That was. Oh no, that was Josh. What Dreams May Come. Did
Mm.
any of you watch that? I
Oh,
Oh,
watched
that
that
was a tough
about a
one.
year
That was
ago. It's good,
good, but so tough.
but that
Yeah,
one took you to another realm.
yeah,
Totally, you
yeah,
know, and the so-called afterlife and brought in reincarnation.
yeah.
That one touched on a bunch of different things. That was good. I'm
Mm.
trying to see what
Someone
other I've
mentioned
missed.
Twilight. Oh, Eni mentioned Twilight Zone as well.
Always.
Definitely. Oh, geez. Did anyone
Okay.
watch Manifest recently? That's a newer
No.
one, but oh my goodness. Oh, it's a crazy, crazy Netflix series where these people get on a plane and they end up in a different dimension, basically. And then a bunch of stuff happens, and I'm not going to, give away anything, any spoilers for people in case they want to watch it, because it's worth a watch for sure.
Time
Really,
after
really well
time.
done.
Adam's mentioning that one. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to jump in there.
I don't
Time
know
after
that one.
time, I was watching a live today with someone that I like. I posted it in the Discord, and he mentioned Time After Time. And it's kind of like a time travel movie, and it has H.G. Wells in it and Jack the Ripper. That was an interesting one. I remember
Mm.
I
like now.
have you guys any of you seen this name or have it come across your desk in a manner of speaking? Amelia Earhart. Have you guys seen anything about her today?
Today, no. Recently,
To,
yes.
So recently,
same.
yes, because she came across my eyes twice today, or my ears. I thought that's odd. I just need one more time to have my three. But I was just curious, so I'm sorry for sidetracking us there. Oh, Flatliners and
That's
Starman.
good. Starman. I love Starman. That was
Oh,
good.
with Starman, my favorite scene is whenever he gets in that woman's car and she slams on the brake and he smashes his face right there into the into the
Karen Allen. She was great.
yeah. But he's like he doesn't know about stopping in a car. And I thought that was so perfect because he smashes his face on the console of the car when she slams on the brakes. Oh, I laugh every time I see that.
And those balls. Those magnetic
Oh yeah,
balls that he had. Like, I mean, that like kind of like lets you onto their technology and everything. That was a good movie. That's one that I definitely should watch again now that I know a little more.
and it makes you ask why. Why are we living the way we live when there's wonderful things like that? Oh, Star Trek's. Yeah, see, Adam's hitting them. Star Trek too. I mean, that's one of the
And
first one
Star
that hit
Wars.
many of us.
Yeah, Star Wars. They call
Yeah.
many people call a biography, right? Or not a biography, a documentary.
Yes.
It's funny because I was a late bloomer for Star Wars. I had seen bits and pieces because my cousins were really into it, but never actually sat down and watched them until before I was going to say newer ones, but like the 2000 ones came out. And my roommate was like, he was so excited. And then he learned that I had never seen them from start to finish, and he hyperventilated and sat me down. And that was what we did for the next 3 days. And I was like, oh, I'm not really into sci-fi. He's like, what are you even talking about? He's like, V, Spaceballs, and starts listing a whole bunch of sci-fi stuff that I'm into. And I was like, okay, fine.
Well, you like the
And
X
then I was
Files,
hooked.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
amazing.
yeah. So he was like, no, and this is spiritual too, so it's right up your alley. You just wait. And yeah, I was hooked.
And cosmic. I mean, that's like
Yeah.
covering the Orion Wars, and that's got a lot of stuff in there. That's is going on right now, or that's happened. It's part of history, whether we remember it or not. Someone did and put it up there.
Can we talk about
Oh,
Star
yeah.
Wars for a moment? Okay, I'm going to ask all three of you. So, what character type, if you were to, okay, first off, would you rather go to the Star Trek universe or the Star Wars universe? Quick answer, no elaboration.
Star Trek.
So, you'd go to Star Trek. Trista?
I know Star Wars better, so I kind of almost have to choose that.
Okay, Lucky?
100% Star Trek.
Okay. Now, I would choose, see, so we're a split panel because I would go Star Wars. Now, if you were to go to that alternate universe, what character type would you be, Trista? Would you be a Jedi? Would you be a swashbuckler like Han Solo? Would you be a prince? Oh, you'd be the princess, or would you be?
No, I'm definitely a Jedi.
Okay,
For
see, I would
sure,
go.
for
I would go
sure.
swashbuckler because the Jedi is just too severe for me. And same question to Millie and Lucky.
Right, it would definitely be. I'm thinking, the main characters on there. It'd probably be like a Diana LaTroy or something.
Yeah, but if we were to step into it right now, you'd probably be historians.
Yeah.
Because what would you be able to do on a starship? Think about that. That's because
Yeah.
that's the only thing that keeps me from choosing Star Trek. Because I'm a big Star Trek fan from forever, but I actually prefer it over Star Wars. But how could I make a living in Star Trek? What would I do other than be a historian? Because I wouldn't know how. I don't have warp. I haven't been to Starfleet Academy, and I guess you could just enlist, kind of thing. But
That's why it would be Diana LaTroy, because she was an empath.
oh yeah, Diana Troy, that would be a good one.
Yeah. Or hang out with Q all day. Q would be so much fun.
Yeah, he would, as long as it was something fun, not torture. It's not that kind of universe, Victor. Awesome, Richard.
Come on, Lucky. What would you do on Star Trek? Because I know you would have an interesting answer.
Oh, I'd be science, 100% science. They needed, on Star Trek, they had the replicators, but they also had plants where they were growing plants, a hydroponic base where they're actually growing stuff. That would be my job, That would be, how to grow stuff in a limited space. Love that. Grow food, not other things.
Sure.
Everything.
But yeah, I mean that's I'm educated. I'm educated in science, chemistry, science, biology, some physics. But yeah, I would be fine. I'd be fine in the Star Trek universe.
Mary wins.
So,
Wesley. Lucky would be Wesley. There you go.
there you go.
Well, yeah, most likely I'd be dead either way because in Star Trek I'd be like, yeah, I'll go away. I'll be on the away mission, sure, and I'd be one of the, I'd be in the red shirts, and then
Now, but we learned that. No, you don't do that. It's
Ooh.
always the unknowns that don't come back.
And in Star Wars, I'd be interested in the Jedi, and of course, what happens to Jedi? They all get killed, So either way, I'd be in trouble. No matter what I did, no matter what universe, I'd probably get my head stick out there, and I'd be causing trouble, and and I wouldn't have any real power if I was a Jedi. I'd be interested in it, and once you started, they eliminate you. Well, in Star Trek, if you're interested in being in the away party, well, you're not very important. You're not a prime character. Bye
Red
bye.
shirt.
Red shirt.
Oh, and Inspire just said the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Oh yes,
That's a good one.
Those are my favorite.
Yeah.
And that's an alternate universe, and they're going through a portal.
So here's one that I actually haven't seen, but I really want to see, and I just have to find some kind of source. But Twin Peaks.
Oh, I never watched that as a kid, but I always
No?
wanted to. But I always wanted to, though. It was one of those
My
series
roommate-
that conflicted
Yep.
with something.
Yeah, my roommate in university was really into it, and I didn't watch it then, and then it just kind of fell by the wayside. But I'm told that I would love it.
See, you were mentioning modern series, and you guys made me think of Netflix. One that I saw pretty recently ago was The Travelers, and I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Walk-ins. Have you
Yes.
guys? Yeah. Okay. And that
Yeah.
deals with walk-ins and
Ooh.
walk-ins coming in for a mission that they have to do, and that's a super interesting series with the guy from Will and Grace, Eric Mick something, and that was good.
And Dark on Netflix. It was very good, but it got really just so complicated, and I ended up losing track kind of halfway through. But that's a really good series too, and it's all like time travel and timelines and stuff like that. Really, really well done.
Dark,
Yeah.
excellent. Have any of you guys seen The 100 on
Oh,
Netflix?
yes. But that's another
Okay,
one that I got into, and then it got just too much, and it kind of fell by the wayside by, I don't know, season 4 or 5 for me.
the very last season, I think I haven't seen the last 3 or 4 episodes. There's a lot of things in that series that remind me about things now, especially with having to do with AI. And I'm going to leave it there.
Mm,
It's gory, but if you can get past the gory, because it does kind of level out at a certain point, uh, and watch that and watch it for what they're disclosing and how it's relevant to what's going on right now, a lot. I saw that with my middle daughter, and sometimes we'll see some of the stuff now, and we'll be like, "Whoa!" So I must watch the end of that. But the 100, it's gory though.
how many seasons did it go?
I think maybe you made it to the last season, but it was only
I
four.
don't think so. I didn't. I didn't. So I probably watched maybe 3 then. So I know there were seasons after. But
Okay.
yeah, it started getting really heavy
Yes,
after all the
it
Mount
has
Weather
its
stuff. Yeah, then it was
yes,
like, yeah, that next season I kind of fell out.
but look at that. But Mount Weather, so
Yeah.
that talks about certain things that maybe are in place right now in case certain things happen where only a select few people can get into certain places and they would outlive supernatural
Yeah.
circumstances.
Well,
All right,
there's
so
a.
let's bring
Oh,
it.
go ahead.
Go ahead. No,
So,
no, no, I was gonna say let's bring it back around and see.
speaking of supernatural, there's a wonderful little series out there from Nick Frost and Simon Pegg. You know who those guys are? They made the movie Paul. They both starred in the movie Paul about the alien and air. You haven't seen Paul, Millie? Oh, you need to write that down and see Paul. Paul is
I
amazing. But
I haven't seen it either,
but
actually.
they did a little mini series called Truth Seekers, and it is just the right amount of creepy. And it's about you ever listen to radio signals? It's like there's a whole genre of radio signals that are out there, and it has to do with that. And it's just the perfect amount of creepy if you haven't seen it.
like spirit boxes,
Yeah, it's
like
kind
what
of
Hershey uses, kind of.
yeah, it's kind of along that stuff. And Paranormal John uses one too, and I've been trying to set his box off for like the last week. I thought, what's the frequency? What's the frequency? But but yeah, it's called Truth Seekers, and it's fun. And I think it's about 10 episodes, and it's right there. It has the same. Well, mainly it's Nick Frost, the guy that played the writer Colin Clive from Paul. I've seen Paul so many times. I love that movie
Oh, okay, we
because
gotta
it's
watch
got just got that eerie kind of. I love that eerie music in it and everything, and it's got that UFO music. I can't hit it. My voice is some boyo that we all know infected me this weekend.
It's
So
like the X Files. You play that little riff that they have that song, and it's like, ooh, all right, here we go.
it is a great one, Josh. Yeah.
Yeah, these people have some really good movies that I'm
I
gonna have to watch the show
Yeah,
next.
I wanted to point out because it's so obscure. The Langoliers, and Spree mentioned the Langoliers. That's a crazy book and movie. I saw or read the book before I saw the movie, but really, really well done about all these people on an airplane, and then something happens, and they go through this weird rip, and everything's different, and I think all the people are gone or something. So yeah, really, really bizarre, and and no conclusion, really, no closure. Just like, I don't know what happened, but I liked it anyway.
Well, there's a movie I haven't seen roll by called Communion. Has anyone seen
Mm,
Communion?
I think it's
so
Yeah,
long ago.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
an
I read
old
the
one.
book.
Yeah.
It was a book first.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's where Whitley Strieber talks about his abductions, but mainly that's where all that information about owls. So if you see owls, it's kind of an omen that, are they owls or are they something else? And I don't mind owls flying over and stuff like that, but if you look, if you open up your windows or look out your window, there's an owl staring in your window. That gives you the creeps. It gives you the creeps really bad after you've seen that movie. Yeah, I see a few people have seen it.
I've heard owls. I've never seen an owl. And it's funny because my town's mascot is an owl. And
No
I hear
kidding.
them, but I've never seen one.
I
I've
see it.
seen a lot of owls. The problem with owls is they make no sound when they fly. Their way the wings are made, they're actually muffled sound. So they're like ghosts of the forest. It is freaky when they fly by you. And I have run into an owl that's flown like 2 feet from me and scared the bejesus out of me.
Hey, I use that word today.
Wow.
That's awesome. Hey, Millie, can I jump into a rabbit hole real quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, there's a wonderful story of these fellows walking through the woods. I think this guy might have been by himself, but he's walking through the woods and he kind of looks like this. You know how you walk through the woods or you're on a trail, and he kind of looks over at this one area and he swears, he goes, I totally saw a gray alien. He goes, I totally saw a gray alien. He kind of does a double take and looks back, and it's like a 4.5 foot tall owl sitting there. Instead, the second time he looks back over and it's like a 4 foot owl sitting there, and he's like, I already saw you, dude. I already saw you. So there's no point in using a screen memory or something on me to try to hide. But that just came to me. That's a well-known story out there. I've heard Preston Dennett talk about it, and it's been on Coast to Coast a number of times, I think. So I think Jimmy Church has even mentioned it.
See, that's funny that you mentioned it because that's where I was going to go. Like, I've heard people talk about these owls, and they're huge, and they come to them in the woods, and they'll like export them or something, or maybe they've had lost time and they can't explain it. So there's some connection with the owls, and yeah, maybe something else.
And I'll tell you what. I'll tell you a quick story. When I lived out in Arizona, there was kind of a gully between all the houses, kind of a gully, and that's where, if you guys heard my my dancing coyote story, that's where that took place. But one night I was setting out looking at the stars, as I would do, as one does a lot out in Arizona because you have such clear skies and it's comfortable. And I saw an owl come down and land right on the peak of the house across from me, and he was big, or she. And then I'm sitting out there with my then partner, and we're looking at the skies, got our little iPads in night vision mode, tracking celestial objects and rocket bodies, this and that. And this owl takes off from that house and comes over and lands literally like 6 feet from us. So I got up and did my thing and walked up. I got probably within about 3 feet. Granted, it was up on the roof, and I put up my hands. I just felt it, just reached out to it, and it sat there for probably 15 minutes. I just soaked it in. It was either observing, I don't know what it was doing, but it was it was one of those seminal moments where you have like, wow, that's like, I guess, is that communing with nature, literally? So
I think so. Let me tell you where you're describing what you're doing. I see a lot of animals or birds or whatnot, and I've become now accustomed to, hey, what message are you here to bring me? Like, I understand that this isn't necessarily like perchance, some random thing or whatever, and I try to reach out and see if I can, I don't know if telepath with them it would be the right word or not, but definitely feel into that energy and see, if I get something off of it. And that I've gotten anything profound off of it yet, no. But that I continue to do it in hopes to build that up and get that muscle memory going, absolutely.
excellent.
So we're almost at the end, but we could definitely explore another set of things if you wanted to discuss any other movies that stuck out to you, or a series or anything that came to mind.
Actually, I have one written down here. It's a TV series, and back when Boyle was younger, we'd watch Disney Channel, and a series I actually loved was Wizards of Waverly Place.
Me too.
Because I'm a Harry Potter. I read all the Harry Potter books as they came out and did the little launch party things many years ago, and they were so much fun. But what I think some of the best things about movies or TV shows is they take you to that. They take you to that place. They take you to that place that you really enjoy. But then you've got to ask. Then you can throw back to that predictive programming. Not so much with Wizards of Waverly Place, but like Harry Potter. Harry Potter was when J.K. Rowling or Rowling, however you say her name, when she was writing those, sometimes you got to question. You got to question, like, how much of this are they showing us what's actually happening? And then, and of course, you have, who wouldn't want to live in the wizarding world? I think it would be freaking amazing. But to be able to fly on a broom and apparate, yeah, be able to travel, just be able to teleport, that sort of thing. I think it's a lot of fun. So I don't know where I was going with that, but I think it's mainly about the feeling you get from things. That's why I don't watch any horror movies. I mean, we're circling around now. That's why I don't watch any of those things, because I don't get any benefit. I don't get anything outside of morbid curiosity, other than, who needs to see bodies chopped up like that? I don't need to see it.
Exactly. How about you, Trista?
Yeah, I don't know what else to add. Um, I do have written down like the classics, like the Practical Magic and The Craft and Witches of Eastwick. Those were all great.
Fun.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's about all I've got.
How about you, Lucky?
Honestly, for me, a lot of it was kind of contradictory to me because I had girlfriends who loved horror movies. And for me, it's like, I know this stuff, and it's nothing like that. I mean, like Amityville Horror was one of the, I watched that and said, yeah, that's nothing like what they really are like. And they're like, what do you mean? And I would talk about it because I couldn't. I mean, Exorcist, it never scared me because I didn't believe it. And it was a horrible movie if you're watching it as a kid. But I'm like, yeah, to me, nothing I experienced. I experienced spirits as a kid. So to me, it was like one of those things where it wasn't a big deal. And for these people who were watching it with me were horrified. And it's a horrible movie. It's, the poor girl is being tortured and torturing everyone else with a pea soup out of everywhere. But, and for me, as a kid, it wasn't scary to me. And it was the weirdest thing. Although Rosemary's Baby, that was scary. Oh, Damien. Oh, the Omen.
Yeah.
That was, I watched that later, but still as a little bit older kid. But again, that scared me because the potential for it to be, the Antichrist to be alive as a child, and I'm a child, and what if I'm that? But yeah, that was my experience. Was although I saw spirits, for me, spirits were a normal part of life, but these movies did put second guessing myself into it because growing up Catholic and seeing demons and stuff like that, seeing ghosts was more to them seeing demons. So,
did you ever tell any of these girlfriends and whatnot that you were a medium when you were younger? Like, I see dead people, or talk to them?
Because I got rid of it when I was 6 because the church made me. But I did have a girlfriend. Let's just say college, make it a little better that way. We were in my room, and she was talking about some ghosting or something, and I'm like, yeah, they're not that bad. And I started explaining it to her, and she's like, you think they're real? And I'm like, yeah, they're like just like us. They walk around. They just happen to live in a parallel world and everything. And she shook her head. I'm like, they can touch you. At which point, we both felt a hairy hand grab our legs and let go. And
Awesome.
she said to
But
me,
you see it.
don't talk about this ever again.
That's funny.
And I knew who it was, but he made sure that I knew that he was grabbing at her because he was prankster, but not. He wasn't mean at all. It was one of the things where he was, I think, threatened that she was denying that they exist, and I was trying to defend it, and he just wanted to give a little bit of a push to say, yes, he's telling the truth here, that kind of thing. I didn't see him, but God, because that's the thing is you can either see them or feel them. I couldn't do both. It's one of those things where their energy, they only could use so much energy around me, I guess. I don't know. I actually don't know the whole story. I just know what I experienced, and that's one thing that I see or hear. But I do know that I hear it really a very fuzzy, hairy hand, and that's what and she said, because we both, pulled our legs, and she said, what happened? And I'm like, felt like a gloved hand grabbed me. She says, no, it was like a werewolf. And I'm like, hairy hand. Okay, I know what he's doing. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Can I add a funny story? Because someone mentioned The Shining. When I was in
Yes.
high school, I was reading The Shining, and I would read before I went to bed, which is just a great thing to do when you're reading a terrifying horror book.
Mhm.
So, and I had a mirror that was across the room from me. So every once in a while, I would move and I would see myself move out of the corner of my eye, and my hair would stand up. So eventually I learned I had to like shuffle over so that I couldn't see myself in the mirror while I was reading that stupid book. And then before I would go to bed, I'd have an Archie comic. So then I'd pick up Archie and I'd read some Archie comics to clean my brain so that I could sleep.
Okay,
And that
but
was,
it
yeah.
me that those Archie comics, like I watched The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina on Netflix, but I think that that's related to some other show that was like on Channel 11, and I can't think of it right now. Oh, but it's something of it that has to do with Archie, and that all ties into Archie and that town and so I can't think of it right now.
Riverdale.
Sabrina the
Riverdale. Yes.
Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Okay, but not the wholesome one. I'm talking about the one with like the one they did on Netflix. That was great. I loved it, and that had a lot of disclosure.
They took that and they extrapolated to it. They because they
From Archie.
Archie. Well,
No.
that's what
Okay.
they took Sabrina and they made it dark.
Yes, I liked it dark. I mean, I had seen the wholesome one here and there, but I liked it dark. That was good.
I'll stick with Scooby Doo.
Scooby Doo. What were they doing? They're a bunch of monster hunters, and they're out questioning stuff and solving crime. I love those people.
Well, the monsters were all people,
Yeah.
and that's it. That's the truth. The scariest
Yeah.
monsters are people. I mean,
Yeah.
to me, all the ghosts were never a problem. It was the people the problem.
When I would cry at night or I'd freak out and want to go jump in my parents' bed because I was, afraid of something, my father would always tell me, "You don't have to be afraid of ghosts. You need to be afraid of living people. Don't worry about the ghosts. They can't hurt you. It's the ones that are alive that'll get you." And I was like, "Oh, gee, thanks." But yeah, 100% true. Yeah, right. He kind of left me like, all right. Yeah. But this has been great, and this could have been broken up. Like when I opened it up like this, I was like, oh, we could go down so many rabbit holes. The sci-fi, which we touched on a little bit, and the horror, and then the magic, and and we didn't even touch on music or comic books. We, Archie a little bit, but there's definitely a lot of comic books and the Marvel movies. I
Yes.
don't know if you guys have seen some of the Marvel movies. Like I don't watch a lot of recent movies, but I have seen a couple of Marvel movies, and the stuff that comes out in those Marvel movies, that's definitely some disclosure there for
You
sure.
need to watch the Doctor Strange, the first
I haven't
Doctor
watched that.
Strange. What, you have seen that?
No, I have not. Is this
Oh.
the older one too?
No,
I,
the new-
I haven't seen
new one.
any of them.
Yeah,
No.
you need to see the newer one because he goes through the spiritual journey, and it's very relevant. And he does a lot of things that you would think that we do, but probably on an accelerated scale. I mean, he gets all of his gifts really quick, so it's worth it. It's worth a watch.
I love that. All right, so
Trista.
this has been fun. What's the matter? What are you thinking of, Trista?
I don't know.
The comment you just put in chat.
Oh,
Oh, I
I've
didn't see
heard that before. I don't know. I haven't seen the really old ones.
that. Scooby snacks. Are you ready for the Scooby snacks? I'm parched, but that's great. Yeah, well, that's why they saw all those ghost movies. They had a lot of fun. But next week we have Lucky hosting. So I want to thank everyone for coming out today and spending an hour with us, going down these rabbit holes. And we try to not go down too many rabbit holes, but definitely maybe we'll revisit this again. I'm going to watch some of these movies and pick up some more stuff. The
Oh
Stepford
yeah,
Wives, that's good too. I was going to say it,
and
but
the Matrix.
I haven't seen them. I've never seen The Matrix. And everyone's
Oh
like,
wow.
what?
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh. Yeah,
yeah,
you need to watch that.
yeah. Constantine, I saw last year. That was really good. And speaking of like Exorcist and exorcism, and but that was good. I like that. Yeah, there's a lot of really good movies that everyone here is talking about, and I need to catch up, and maybe we'll revisit this again in a couple months once I've done more homework on these newer things. But Lucky doesn't know. Do you know what you're gonna do? I'm not putting you on the spot. I mean, but I
I
know
have
that
an
he's gonna be hosting.
I have an idea about what questions inhibit your spiritual growth. I've been thinking about that. Sometimes when we're on a spiritual growth, we think, am I meditating correctly, or am I understanding things the same way? And I have an idea of maybe there's some questions we can ask and address that people are along the spiritual journey might have that don't want to ask the difficult questions without any judgment, that kind of thing. And I'm trying to hash it out. So
That's cool.
yes, I have a subject. I just don't know how I'm going to play it out, or just play it out like that. That are there any questions that people might have, and try to find people with questions and look around with no judgment, that sort of thing, where just so people can feel that, oh, someone else is experiencing that. I mean, one of them is like when you meditation, that Victor uses a lot of visualizations. There are people with, oh, I lost the word, who can't have images in their heads. Agioplasia, or doesn't matter.
Oh, there's a
And
term for it. Okay.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah. It's I lost it. I know the word too, and I lost it. But yeah, in terms of people who have no inward visual in their head, um, but they can still meditate too, and there are techniques for that. And I want to find things that inhibit people along their spiritual growth, spiritual path, and think I'm not doing this right. Just tell them there are different ways, and just open the doors up for everyone rather than, oh, I'm not like everyone else. Why am I doing it wrong? But
Oh, I think that's a great topic.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
I'd
that.
love to talk about that.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
I gotta get to
Well,
work.
thank you everyone for coming in, and thank you. Oh, Logan's Run. See, I'm gonna have to definitely rewatch this one with the comments because this has got a lot of great comments and a lot of great things. But yeah, I definitely remember watching Logan's Run, the original, with my mom when I was like maybe 6, 7, little thing. Having
Yeah.
our favorite sandwiches were Wonder Bread with a Hershey bar in between. My mom was pregnant, probably with my sister, but that's what we would have. We would have 2 slices of Wonder Bread. This is our midnight with a Hershey bar in between.
Is that Fantasia, Adam? Fantasia?
Ooh.
Oh,
He put
Fantasia.
at
That was
Fantasia.
Oh,
scary. I saw
Oh,
Fantasia.
that's psychedelic. That's Disney
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Oh, so many. Aphantasia. Aphantasia. Yeah, that's the word. Aphantasia. That's exactly what the word is.
That's the word
Oh,
he
Oh.
was looking for. Oh,
Aphantasia. You can't see visuals in your head. Aphantasia. But there's a movie Fantasia, which is very psych. That there's 2 words there.
That's good. See what we stumble upon when we're not even looking.
and
But
and,
really,
and we didn't even talk about Tron tonight. And we could do
see,
10 episodes like this.
yeah, yeah, we really could because and this isn't even touching music, or I'm telling you, or
yeah.
even comic. There's so much that we've been exposed to. Like if you open it up with media and just so many things that are out there, right? Alice in Wonderland, like things from a little kid that we grew up watching every year. The Wizard of Oz, so many.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't
Great
mean
rabbit hole.
Fantasia. I meant Phantasm. Did I say Phantasm or Fantasia?
You said Fantasia, but yeah, that one too.
Phantasm, I think.
Fantasia, wasn't that the horror movie with those little balls that
That
was,
was
with the-
that's
That was
Phantasm.
Phantasm. That was Phantasm. Fantasia was a Disney movie that played music. It was
Oh,
just mostly Fantasia was music. It was when Mickey Mouse chopped at the brooms. Every broom became multiple brooms. Fantasia
Oh.
was it was basically Disney trying to make adult cartoons, and it failed abysmal. Became cult
Oh, but it was so
afterwards.
good.
Yes. Well, that thing it only became successful after the fact, but right when he put it out there, it didn't go anywhere, and he got all sad and I'll never do this again. I'll do the children's stories again. I'll do the fairy tales. I want to do this music, and which was awesome. Fantasia was awesome.
Well, and it's like they focused on, or like the one that you always see is always the Mickey Mouse one, but like wasn't there one with the dinosaurs evolving, and that was so cool. That was my favorite of everything in that movie or whatever you call it.
Movie.
It was more like well, not snippets, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Cool.
yeah. Oh, so good.
I love it. Okay, well, if we're gonna go to bed, we're gonna let you guys go to bed. We'll probably stay up and chat. I'm not gonna lie. You guys should stay up and chat amongst yourselves too. But hey, thank you for coming and spending Sunday night with us. We're gonna see you again next week. I'm gonna watch this on the replay and make some notes.
Mhm.
All right. Take care. Thank you all. Bye.
Love you
Namaste,
guys.
everyone.